Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Empowerment Talk Show with me and my co-host Latoya. Tonight we have a special friend of mine, none other than Stephen Matherin, all the way from St. Lucia, tuning in. Hey, Stephen, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
You're good. That's good. How's the music world going?
Well, music world is going nowhere right now, but nonetheless, this is still a good opportunity to practice and learn new things. So, yeah.
Yeah,
That's good.
so, Stephen, can you introduce yourself to the audience? Let them know who you are. What is it that you do back home in St. Lucia? That good stuff, and all of that.
Well, I'm Stephen Marthra. I'm a musician, and that's what I do in St. Lucia. I do music. I produce music. I perform. I sing. I play 7 instruments. Um, I said produce music. Yeah. So just heavily involved in entertainment on the island and on cruise ships as well and all the places where I go. So that's what I do. That's what I love, and that's what I keep on doing.
How's life in St. Lucia?
Life in St. Lucia, life. I mean, we've been blessed to be going through this pandemic smoothly. Um, well, as of maybe last week, we got a few scares, probably into community spread. But our authorities, our CMO and um, head of health department, they seem to know what they're about and seem to be taking everything in stride to make sure that the people um, stay well protected and safe, and give us different measures that we follow to aid in keeping us in the safe mode. So yeah, we're coping very well. We're doing very well with it so far.
That's good.
Great. Latoya, how was your day?
My day was kind of chilled and relaxed, to be honest with you. Kind of took it easy today. I had a long weekend. Um, so just relaxes today. Did a few work and that's it. Babysit.
All right. So, welcome back, everybody, to the Entrepreneur Prayer Breakfast Club and the Empowerment Talk Show every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And tonight, our topic is sex, singleness, and Christianity. And last week, we started this topic, and I mean, the conversation kept going. The messages was crazy. Like, people are literally reaching out if they could be a guest on the show. All right. So thank you all for communicating and conversating with us. We love when you guys share your opinions. And Jay Dennis is here. He's like frontline and
I
center.
know
Like,
I realized him commenting already. He's commenting
yes.
already.
So please go ahead and share this live. Do leave your comments. We love your conversations. And those that are watching from St. Lucia, because Stephen is here, thank you all for tuning in. All right.
How do
So,
I
Stephen, my first question to you is, pardon me?
how, how do I share the live?
I sent you the link.
On
Send it
Facebook.
to you on Facebook again. So, my first question to you, Stephen, while we share the live, is for you as a man, me knowing you for so long and know your beliefs in Christ, do you believe that when you're single and you are a Christian, that you should have that access to be doing the other things outside of Christianity? Is premarital sex okay?
It depends on who's answering and what you're looking for in the answer, because
I'm looking for honesty. I'm looking for truth.
Yes.
For I'm
okay,
looking for the real
so
you.
the real me,
Um,
premarital
yes.
sex. Okay,
Is premarital sex okay? Hey, Anna, welcome.
Yes, I would say yes.
Why?
Yes. Thank you, Latoya.
Um, why would I say it's okay? All right, because um, in in loving, knowing, and growing, you need to know somebody. To marry someone, you need to know someone. The world that we're growing now, people need to know stuff. People want to know stuff before they do anything. It's like um if I come to you and I say I have a business, right? And I'd like you
Right.
to invest in business. And then you say to me, well, what's the business? And I'll tell you, no, you have to sign the contract first before I tell you what the business is. Would you sign the contract because you don't know what the business is? Right.
No, I'm not signing that contract.
Exactly. And I've learned that despite everyone wants to say, oh, if you take out sex from a relationship, what else do you have? Too many relationships are based on sex. Too many relationships are based on sex.
Right.
Um, we need to understand and look at sex in all aspects before we even talk about what it is in a relationship. The benefits for health that sex um, offers. And I'm not just talking about just your physical health. We're talking about mental and emotional health, stability, and all these things. You get that from sex. For those of you who've been sick before and you had sex while you were sick, you realize for that moment while you're having sex, you were not sick. A few minutes after, it's the truth, right? And then you're talking about, and then we go further on talking about um, how important it is in a relationship to partners that their sex lives are on par. Their sex lives complement each other. And Latoya, what you like, I may not like. Camille, what you like, I may not like. What Camille may like, Latoya, you may not like. You understand? And it's a
Right.
whole different thing. And then you're telling me I'm going to sacrifice my entire sexuality because um, I love you. Yes, love is a sacrifice. Love is to will. But eventually you get frustrated because you're just not getting that. You're just not getting that satisfaction. And that's the reason why people go hunting out and all this time you're always looking because you're just not sexually compatible. And if you're not sexually compatible, it's the recipe for disaster because eventually either person, human beings are ego beings, either person, man or woman, eventually will feel, you know what, that's not working for me. And then that's the breeding ground for problems. The breeding ground for problems. So then you start questioning, oh, am I doing it good enough? Or the woman's like, oh, he's not doing it good enough. Or he's like, oh, that girl just stiff, stiff, stiff. She just on her back. She not doing this, she not doing that. And he's not doing this, he's not doing that. You all asked me to be blunt and true, so I will be blunt and true. And these are the things that people are saying. The woman will say, oh, he doesn't have enough. He's not wide enough. He's not long enough. Then the guy will say, oh, she's too this and and these kind of things. So tell me, you're going to get married, you're jumping into marriage, and then on the night in question, okay, we'll forgive the night. We're tired and we've had a long day getting ready for our wedding. So the night in question, we may do something,
That's why you want to jump in while his internet
I,
comes
the next
back.
day when we're having
yeah, I
Okay,
yeah,
go ahead.
his internet cut off. Um, I agree with him. It's just like you have to know what you're getting into as far as I see it nowadays, is that you just have to know what you're getting into. Yes, I know the Bible talks about premarital sex and it's not right, but at the same time, it's just that I'm thinking just we're human beings and we're gonna do it. Well, not everyone. Let me not say we are gonna do it. Let me not generalize, but for some people, they're just not gonna buy what them say, Jamaica was say pussy in a bag. We're not, some people just not gonna buy it, especially in this day and age too, where men can get sex change and females can get sex change, and you kind of want to know what you're getting into, because since lately I'm like, okay, I'm so sorry for these men nowadays, because some of these men getting sex changes look so awesome. So you kind of have to know. What do you think, Cam?
It's good to know what you're getting into, but my belief is what the word of God says, that we're not to have premarital sex, because we were all born in sin, you're right, and we're shaped in iniquity. So, you know, we do the things of the world, but I believe that, what is it that you want at a certain age? You should know what you want. You should know what you want in a person, because sex is just what, 5% or 10% of a relationship. The main
Right.
part of a relationship is communication and trust. So I think that those things should be first and foremost before we even get to the point where we're saying we're going to get married. Like Christ, God should be the center of
Oh,
that
true.
relationship. Christ should be, prayer should be the center of that marriage, of that friendship, the courting. It should be the center first, and then you move from there into the next level. But what we do instead is we jump into the bed first. It's like we do reverse. So we get into bed first, and then we want to get to know you.
Mm. Well, it shouldn't be that way though. You should actually get to know the person before even jumping into bed with him. But I know, like, nowadays society, people are doing that, where they're getting into bed and then find out later, oh, he's this, he's that, he's or she's this or she's that. So you're right. You should get to know each other. Definitely, I would say on a mental level and a spiritual level too, because with some people, they might not believe in what you believe in. And as
That's
so
another
with
thing.
that,
That's a good point.
with that is that, there are couples that one believe in one faith and the other one believe in another faith, and they somehow make it work. But then I've seen, like, I've been in a situation where I feel like that person didn't believe in God, but I believe in God. And so with that, there's always this kind of back and forth as to, is something wasn't meshing with that part of it. So that was something that we gotta, fix. And I
Because,
found myself
because you
questioning
can
certain.
find that some people, right? Some
Hmm.
people are not sexually attracted to each other,
Right,
but they're mentally attracted because of the conversations. So you
right,
have to know, as an individual, spiritually, mentally, and sexually, what is it that you want and what is it that you're looking for in your relationship. But I believe, again, that if God says do not do it and we're believers, we shouldn't do it, because we can't do half of the word. We got to do the full thing.
all right. So let me put a situation to you. So
Mm.
I got, after her show last week, my
Mm-hmm.
cousin shared a story with me about a pastor that she knows. So
Yeah.
he was courting this lady for however long, and they got married. And no soon after they got married, he divorced her. And he divorced her because after marriage, he found out that, because they weren't having sex or anything like that. But after marriage, he found out that she actually does not have a vagina. So
Well,
they
that part, she was
cannot have
dishonest.
sex.
She was dishonest and she was deceptive.
Right. So, but then she still believes in the faith and he believes in the faith. So is it that she needed to share that with him ahead of
Yes,
time, or it should?
you have to, in a relationship, you must open up like a flower and say what is going on. If you know you suffer from infidelity and you're getting into a relationship, open up and say, I have this issue. And that is the problem with us as believers, as people. We refuse to be honest and authentic when we're getting into a relationship.
Right. Stephen,
Stephen
what
is
what what is
back.
your comment on that one?
I missed the question though, because my internet got cut. I'm still trying to get the actual link because people are asking me for the link that they could view, not join the chat.
I sent you the link in your WhatsApp.
Okay, all right, cool, thank you.
They could
So
go on
yeah,
that website, or they
so
could
what was the
just go.
question?
oh, so I was sharing a situation with her that I was told of last week, whereby the pastor, he
Oh,
got
that
married.
about the pastor. Okay,
Yeah. So
what
what
do
do
I
you think
think
about
about
that?
it? What do I think about
Mm-hmm.
the pastor married to the woman? You know why? Because he have faith like a mustard seed. So it's, you understand? But it still boils down to the same thing. It still boils down to the same thing. If he caught he courted that woman for so long, and they were good spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. They were connecting. They're in this sphere and they were good together. Why have a problem? He should have a vagina now. You
Because he
understand?
wants to have sex. Just as what you said, sex is it
Not
plays a part too. It's not the most important part, but he wants to have sex. He wants to
ex,
feel, you
ex,
know.
To me,
imagine,
like my father
imagine.
said, what's that song my father sing couple years ago? He said, "Man a wicked, but woman a Delilah." To me, she was being
He
a
deceived
Delilah.
him.
She was being
He
deceptive.
deceived him. Yes,
You're
honestly,
right.
she deceived him. But then let's get to the fact of the matter. The fact of the matter
Uh-huh.
is still remains. Whether let's say she had a vagina, but then
Uh-huh.
for some reason, it just don't look good. Because not everybody work good. It's a fact. For some reason, for some reason, they're just not the perfect fit for each other. For some reason, he may be too big, or some reason she may be too big, or some reason he too small, or whatever, and it doesn't work. It still leaves the same feud that leads to the grounds of divorce. Because if you cannot make that connection and have that good connection, eventually what you deem to be a mental and emotional and spiritual connection with each other is going to suffer. Because why? It's not that sex is the foundation of it, but we're still human beings. And then you're not going to lay down by that woman every night and say sweet words I say to you and stuff like that. No, it's not gonna happen every night. So what are you doing?
But
What are you gonna do when you're married and you feel a nature hit you boom under your belly?
well, it says till death do us part. So why not work on it? There are so many things now,
But
there's the vagina rejuvenation, there's, the
rejuvenation.
extends for men and stuff like that. Why not say, okay, let's work with them through that process? You feel like people don't have that time to work through that process?
The part that the
Takes
part that
takes
the part that agitates my mind and baffles me is the part that she knew that she
she know
Yeah.
had
the
that problem
woman had,
and she
but she
wasn't
didn't act.
honest. And in order for a marriage, a relationship to work, you must have honesty. That means to me, I'm not judging her as a Christian. That means that she has not given her entire heart to God.
Well,
Okay, fair
let
enough.
me let, let,
Because
let,
when you give away yourself to Christ, you don't have nothing hidden. I could just look and say,
true.
listen, I don't have a vagina. You understand what I'm
But
saying?
but Camille, imagine
I
a
could
woman telling a man that
say,
she
but we're
loves, that
still
she has. Sorry, go ahead, Stephen.
uh, I could understand what Camille is trying to say, and if you give yourself fully to God, you're going to be honest and stuff like that. At the end of the day, that's the same thing we fail to realize as Christians. Christianity fail to realize you're 100% spirit, 100% flesh. The flesh.
Mm-hmm.
We
Mm-hmm.
in the Christian realm, we keep concentrating on the spirit, the spirit, the spirit, the spirit, the spirit, the spirit.
Right,
If
right.
the if the flesh is weak, the spirit suffers. If the spirit is weak, the flesh suffers. Either way, you understand? Because temptation is there, but temptation is not only just for the flesh. Temptation is also for the spirit. Because you know what? Spiritually, I may be attracted to you, and because you speak sense, you make a lot of sense when you speak and stuff like that. That's not a physical attraction. The word of your mouth is a spirit from your body. That is
Yeah.
a spiritual attraction. I'm attracted to your intellectual, which means inside,
Mm-hmm.
out of you. That's what I'm attracted to. So I'm like, you know what? Wow, she speaks sense and she speaks to me. She speaks some sense and well, maybe a lot of sense. But then we get to sit down together and let's not go as far as um sex. You wife that lady, you'll finally get home, and then she stays there and she has an emotional relapse because now
Mm.
you guys are just one roof. You're not going out seeing all the colors of the earth, all the beautiful benches that people spit on, but you guys make love and emotionally, mentally making love to each other on the bench, speaking sweet things and stuff like that. When you get married and you grow older with each other, eventually something has to give. That's why people go through phases. There's one part in your life you have sex every day. There's another part once a week, twice a week. And then the conversation is this side. There's a time you vex with each other and you can't talk to each other. Boom, the conversation goes. But you'll still lay down in the same bed. I have a policy, even though we vex, we're sleeping in the same bed. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Even though we're sleeping in the same bed, I'm still physically attracted to you. That means things going to rise, tempers flare. And there are some people who, after an argument, what we all call makeup sex, after an argument, there's just this burst of emotion and this, you know, we let it out, it's clear, and then we want to have sex. And you tell me we can't do that because the thing is not good. That's
Well,
all out of the window.
I won't disagree. We
Because we
all
cannot
go through
talk anymore.
stages. We all go through stages in life. But again, honesty, authenticity is the key to any successful relationship, whether it be business,
Right.
marital, or sexual. You must
Right.
be honest. One. Number two, fear can play a big factor why she didn't tell her husband or fiance before that she has this problem. And
Uh,
that's another topic in itself, because that's when you call in the elders of the church, the other pastors, to say, look, this is what's wrong with this female and she needs assistance, right? But we are afraid because we put the pastors, the leaders, on this pedestal to the point where we cannot reach them or touch them. They're
right.
human, flesh and bone, just like you. If you want to be a pastor today, Latoya, you can be a pastor today.
Yes.
Once you have drive, you study the word, and you fill with the Holy Ghost, you can do it. It's not hard. But the problem is we, the people, put them into that position where they're not reachable to conversate with them. You understand what I'm saying? You should be able to find one or two persons to go to that person, and then you go back to who counseled them before they got married. Because
Right.
those are things that should have been exposed or expressed during counseling. So infidelity doesn't just come up. It can be something that you've been struggling with before you got married, but you never paid attention to it that you needed to be fixed. And a lot of
Well,
time we get into relationships and we know we have certain issues and the handwriting is on the wall, and we enter that relationship anyway without working on ourselves first.
no,
There's
because a lot of people go in the relationship with emotional trauma from the previous relationship. So,
one thing. There's one thing I always like to say, and I wish at some point in my life I actually at some point in my life I actually knew and felt that way. Fix yourself first. Fix yourself first, because a lot of us go into relationships and we're in the relationship expecting your partner, my partner, that partner to make you happy. And that partner is expecting you to make them happy as well. Two unhappy people trying to make each other happy. Two broken people trying to fix each other. You know, two mentally distorted people are trying to have good conversation. So then we wonder, we sit and we wonder, why every time we try and speak to each other, we're having an argument. And it may not be an argument, it's just that I want to be heard, she wants to be heard, I want to be heard, and the volumes keep going up. And then the higher your volume go, the more your temper go up and stuff like that. Adrenaline, that's what it is. And then the fights continue. Why not? People are ashamed of saying I have a problem and I need to fix it. And I'm sorry, maybe this may not work. So, but let's try and fix us first. And if I tell you all the honest truth where I learned that, you wouldn't believe me. I have a 16-year-old son. I have a 16-year-old son, and my 16-year-old son, he had some issue with some girl he was talking to and stuff like that. And I said to him, why y'all not speaking anymore? He said to me, Daddy, I told her I cannot do this because I'm not emotionally available. And that's what a lot of adults fail to do. And I had to learn that from my 16-year-old. I learned that from my 16-year-old son. I'm not emotionally available. So I'm not able to give you the emotion and the time and the caress and the love that you need because I'm not available that way. Why? Because I don't have it for myself yet. So until I'm able to grow that for myself, I cannot give it on to you. Until I know myself and what I want properly, I cannot help you. I cannot pave a way for you. I cannot help you get through things that you want to get through. I don't even know if I'm coming or going. You understand? But then I'm supposed to. And these are the things that a lot of us fail to realize when we get into relationships, or we get into a relationship. First thing, you get into a relationship because of some form of attraction. Intellectual attraction, physical attraction. Some of us just like to see nice fit looking guys. Some of us like to see women with nice backside and all those kind of things. It's some kind of attraction. It doesn't matter what it is. And then we get into that kind of stuff. But you know what? When we get there, we speak all the sweet things. Everything good happens. Everything sweet happens. And we spend a lot of time around each other. And it's like, wow, the sweetest thing ever. You know? And then we flirt around, okay, in Christianity, we flirt around the boundaries of sex, the rings of sex, because we kiss, we hug, we fondle, we do everything. You know what? We're not having sex, we're not going inside, we're not doing, okay, fine, we're doing that. But it's almost at the climax of it. Foreplay is part of sex. So a lot of us get to that point anyways. But then when we get into having sex, that sexual connection, that connection, that's what seals the deal of your emotional connection.
Availability. Yeah,
You know
because
what? You're right.
That's where the two spirits become one.
Yes.
Right. The biggest part of the relationship has to be your emotional connection with that person. If I cannot relate to you on your emotional level, when you go crazy, I go crazier. Someone has to let her go crazy, and I will step down so I could be the balance. Someone has to give, and these are the places that we don't connect. And then, so when we go into it sexually, we think that it would make it okay, because we have sex and stuff like that. No, but you know what? In our relationships before we got married, if you see we were doing that thing there, we don't know that does fix nothing. It fixed the bed for the night. That's it. But what if that can't fix the bed for the night and we cannot look at each other tomorrow?
That's a good.
So
That's
that's
a
what
great question. That's a great question, Steven. So let's dive into some questions here. So Jay Dennis says, wanna understand not falling for the cat in the bag. Sex before marriage was a learned behavior. Self-control is key. If you are Christian, we have to fall in line.
Well, that's true. I believe once you're following the Christianity faith, so there are two parts to this for me. There are people that are following the Christianity faith. You know, you go to your church every week, you know, you praise God and you do everything specific to that. And then you have the other part of it where you have some people that is 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that. And then you have people that will just occasionally, you know, go to church. They still stay home, they pray every day, they read their Bible every day, but you know, they're not just totally 100% into
Committed,
sexuality.
yeah.
Yeah, they're not totally committed. So I'm for me is, where are you in that? You know, where do you fall in that line? Because if you do say you're going to church every week and you're committed, you're kind of expected to, and you're held to a certain standard that you must follow. And so if you go outside and people seeing that you're being promiscuous, and you know they see you with this person this week and that person this week, or they know that you're having sex in this, you know, being that we're talking about sex or relationship, they're gonna wonder, like, you know, how can he be going into church preaching or talking about the word of God and then come out here and be talking about that, versus the person that just has that, you know, laid back approach. I'll go to church when I can. I pray at home. I know I believe in Christianity. They won't be judged as much. So I guess it just comes back down to where you are in your faith. Um, and you act accordingly, I guess.
But
That's the best I can do.
where
I
you
think.
where you are at in Christ, meaning your maturity in Him, and did you really commit yourself to Christ? That's the question that most Christians should ask ourselves. And if you cannot commit to God, I don't see how you can commit to a relationship.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because even if you're not a Christian and you're a Muslim, or you have Hinduism or whatever your religion is, we won't impose it on you. Whatever you're studying, give you some kind of guideline as to how your life should be,
Right.
or how you should live as a person, as a human being. But because we have, like Jay Dennis said, it's a learned behavior. So we started when we were 21 having premarital sex.
What is it saying?
So
What is it
it
saying?
became a
Learned
part.
behavior. What is behavior? Premarital sex?
It's a learned behavior. Some of us grow up, we
No,
see
it's
that
not.
our parents are not married. So you
No,
reach
it's not. It's not.
16, you
It's not a
understand,
learned
say,
behavior. I I beg to differ. I beg to differ. It's not a learned behavior. It's not premarital sex. It's not premarital sex is not a learned behavior.
uh-huh.
Marriage is an institutionalized thing. We need to learn our history and stuff like that before we just say. As Christians, we need to understand. You need to learn history before you just say something. Premarital sex is not a learned behavior. Sex is a natural behavior. So premarital sex could never be a learned behavior. It says he
A
saw
lot of us,
marriage and
even
left.
if you
Wait,
take a check
he saw
on
he
the
saw
Amish community, the Amish community train their girls to have some of them more than one husbands, right? Some Muslims have more than one wives. In the Christendom, we are from the Caribbean, and we were
Mhm.
raised and taught the principles of God for the majority. So we know right from wrong. That goes for somebody who does not know the right way. That's why I said, for me, I won't impose my religion on anyone. So everyone
I
have
will
their
put
different
it
views.
and ask
But
you a
for
question.
me, it is something that we see other people do, so we do it. Just like when you're gonna drink a beer for the first time. Latoya take me out to the club and say, hey, try this. You try it because she's your girlfriend. So you say, oh, I'm gonna try it. And you try it, right? So it's something that you learn to do. So you know, so next time when you go out to party, you're gonna drink that particular drink because you drank it the first time and it tasted good. So when your friends say to you, hey, we're gonna go down the corner and check the Katia, right? And the friends start engaging in conversations, it's something that you saw. So because you see it, you learn to do it. So you start following. You didn't learn that at home.
Can I ask you a question?
You didn't learn to have sex.
Can I ask you a question?
Who told us that the emotions that we're having inside is sexual? Who told us that? God created us with our spirit.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question?
Sure. Oh, the comments are coming.
Go ahead, Stephen. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Stephen.
I don't want to ask a question. I want to make a statement, actually. I don't want to ask a question.
Sure.
The phrase nature calls definitely means we were not, we never had to be taught that we had to have sex. That's natural. That is natural.
I agree with Stephen. I feel that.
Hold on.
No,
do you know? Have you ever met a man? Let us be real. Have you ever met a man? Because I have. Have you ever met a man that does not know how to have sex with a woman? Have you ever met a man like that?
Hold on. Wait. He may not know. Let me tell you, he may not know how to have sex, but he definitely know the road to go and have it.
Yes, Stephen, I think you're referring to desires opposed to the behavior.
No. Come here.
That road they don't need GPS.
No, Kelly, I have to agree with Stephen on this one that it's not something that you learn. It's your body after a while, even as teenagers, your body after a while, you start feeling certain urges for certain things. Yes, you are socialized with it. So over time you get to understand the I feel like your socialization help you to understand the feeling that you're feeling and what you need to do about that feeling to basically to please yourself with that feeling. So I must agree with him that it's not something that is really, taught or learned. It's just as what he said, when nature call. Everyone, I think, at some point let me not say everyone, because not everyone likes or loves sex at all. But at some point, I've had that sexual urge that they will want to fulfill.
Okay, you have a sexual urge at the age of 13. Let us get into psychosis and behaviors and sociology.
Okay.
You have an urge at 13. You have never seen anything sexual, but you have the urge. You don't know what it is. You're 13 years old, and you do not know what is going on with your body as a female or as a male. How do you explain that emotion? How do you express it?
Hold on. So let me try and answer this to you. And if someone denies themselves about that, as a Christian, you're just wrong. I will judge you.
No. Answer the question I just asked.
No.
You're 13 years old.
If
13.
Denies what I'm answering, if someone denies the way I'm about to answer you as a Christian, they're wrong and they're lying. So they need to go and ask and pray for forgiveness. Listen, why do you go through puberty?
It's your body changing, becoming an adult.
Exactly. That means you're becoming not an adult, you're becoming someone who's ready for procreation. Doesn't necessarily.
You still haven't answered my question.
Wait. Allow him to finish. Allow him to finish.
I'm answering your question. That means you're getting ready for procreation.
Yeah.
Right? Which means in the woman, you have ovaries that are being ready to be released. You see your period and stuff like that, and all these kind of things. For the guys, your voice drops deeper. Your balls start. Sorry, I don't know if I could have said that. Whichever way, your manly parts start hanging out. No, I'll just be blunt and true, because for lack of better word, your manly parts start hanging out. You start growing facial hairs and all these kind of things. Your body is being ready for procreation and different things that attract the opposite sex. Just like you see a bird, when the bird ready for sex, he spread his wings and he start doing his dance and stuff like that. When a male dog never play with itself before it has sex. No. But when female dogs getting hit, the 9-month-old dog, because his testes drop already and stuff like that, pass by that female, he gets that kind of thing, he jump on it. No one taught that to happen. The first time you had sex, no one taught you to have sex. Necessarily, you didn't have to look at no pornography or anything like that and stuff like that. It was just a natural feeling. And when you got there with that opposite sex, you started feeling, which is an automatic thing, because you're taught love growing up and you're taught sacred parts of the body growing up. After a certain age, your mother stopped bathing you in the bathroom together with her because you're starting to understand that's that's a vagina. You're going to school, you're learning different things on the street as well. So it's not that you're not being taught how to have sex, but it's already being paved. It's the same way you get up from your knee one day and you go on the flat of your feet and you start walking. Some of us don't even walk. Some of us run before we actually walk. It's natural. It's a natural occurrence. It's a natural occurrence. And then you trying to deny your body, okay, fine, you're not going to have sex. You're not going to have penetral sex or anything. But at a certain age, you go into the bathroom, you touch yourself there and you feel good and you still continue touching it and you're touching it and you're touching it and you're touching it and you're touching it. And then you end up seeing what happened. You're going to go back to the bathroom.
I was going to get to that. Yes. I was going to get to that because
but it is, but what I am saying is that it is an emotion that is acted upon.
Yes,
it is an emotion that is acted upon, which is something that you are either taught or a learned behavior. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me get the questions in. Wait. Let's get the questions in before we go any further, please. Oh, someone comment. Reiki Jenna says too much gossiping in churches nowadays, so it's hard to discuss stuff. That is a valid point.
That's a valid point, Reiki.
That is true. I will agree with that. Takesha says, do you think people use relationships to cover up individual issues rather than deal with them?
Yes.
All the time. All the time.
I agree.
All the time.
Okay. Jay Dennis says, it's learned, bro. You wouldn't know about sex unless you were taught. Hold on.
He have a problem.
Hold on. Then he says,
he's backing. If I was in his face, I would have tell him he have a problem.
he's backing up his comment. He backs up his comment by saying, Adam and Eve never knew about sex till the apple teach them. And God said, go forth and multiply. So my friend, it's a learn through hereditary.
No. You see, now let's step back on that. Let me tell you. The first time your stomach hurts you and you know you have a diarrhea, you go to the toilet straight. Nobody will teach you to do that. In a pamper, you do it first though. You grew up and then you got to learn this is what it is and this is what was happening. Sex is not a taught habit. Sex is something that's natural. You're taught.
No, we're not saying that sex is not natural. We are saying that the behavior of infidelity is taught. Premarital sex is taught. Having sex out of marriage is taught. It is something that we saw, and it is something that we do. I stand on my belief. Jay Dennis, I am with you. I am with you, Jay Dennis, 100%.
Every man has his choice. No one has to teach you. Okay, so I grew up seeing my friends using guns and stuff like that. Does it mean that I have to go use guns and stuff as well? No.
Some people do.
Wait. All right.
We have another comment. Hold on. We have another comment. Wait. Hold on. So another comment came in because I have my iPad going. We have another comment. Karen says, both of you have a good point. I understand what Camille is saying. I believe what Camille is trying to express is the lifestyle, while Stephen is expressing the desire of nature, which both play the role in the emotion. Good point. Thank you, Karen, for your comment. Please like and share this video tonight.
So,
We appreciate you guys.
so Cam,
So
Yes.
which
this
one
all
you
right.
talking
What
about
I
then?
wanna what was that?
Go ahead, Latoya. Go ahead, Latoya.
So Camille, I want to say this. All right, what about because you talk about a 13-year-old and a teenager, right?
A
So I want to
13-year-old,
say,
yeah.
yeah, a 13-year-old, right? So how is he and she? So naturally, some of us start touching our body at certain age. And
Mm-hmm.
as what he said, if you go in the bathroom, you touch yourself, you touch yourself, you touch yourself, then you kind of say, oh, I like that, I like this, I like that. But then now the mind start wondering what else can be done to help me
Mm-hmm.
to relieve this urge, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I am agreeing with Stephen on this one, Cam, that
On what point are you agreeing on?
is not it's not taught. Premarital sex is
Premarital sex is
not
not
premarital sex is not taught is not something that is taught. It's just something that naturally as human beings that our body's just gonna naturally want it after a while. Once we hit that puberty, our bodies are gonna naturally
yeah.
desire it. So it's up to you now as to whether or not you act on that. That's
I
all
am
it is.
coming from the perspective of what I've seen, what I've heard and experienced with children on that age level who does
Okay.
not know what sex is, and their bodies are going through these different desires and emotions. How do they handle it? You understand? And then you look at the fact that in Christendom, most of these children in church are not being taught anything about sex. Some kids do not take what they call it now in school. Because we're out of school a long time. Them call it in a school now, Latoya.
What?
Where they
Education.
do
The
health,
sexual education?
sexual education. Back home in Jamaica, we used to get that. I don't know if they're doing it in school now. Some two kids that I
Yeah.
know right now are going through this issue. So they know that sex is there. And one of them said, Auntie, my friend is telling me to have sex with a girl. His friend is telling him to have sex with a girl. So it is a behavior that you adapt to, you pick it up. The emotion, you act upon it. And I'm gonna stand on that. Jay Dennis, I'm with you. Here's the next question.
Let me just now.
Um,
Hold on. I
hold
want to
on.
say something
He said,
to Karen's question. Hold on to Karen. I want to go back to Karen's statement. I want to go
okay,
back to
she
Karen.
said, both of you have a good point. This is Karen. I
Mhm.
understand what Camille is saying. I believe what Camille is trying to express is the lifestyle, while Stephen is expressing the desire of nature, which both
Mhm.
play the role in the emotion.
Mhm. Okay, so let's talk about the lifestyle, and I believe that's what you're more targeting. The lifestyle of infidelity being taught. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yes and no, because there are some of us who've grown up in really good homes, seeing mommy and daddy loving each other, and we just grow up dog life, for lack of a better word. We just grow up dog life. We like
That's
what we
true too,
like,
yeah.
and we just experimenting and experimenting and experimenting and experimenting. That's what we call it, and stuff like the infidelity wasn't something that was taught. It it's in your head. Your curiosity made you react a certain way. You know what?
Mm-hmm.
That guy is tall. That guy is tall. Let me see what that guy is like because he's a tall guy. Blah blah. Oh, yo, that girl thick. That is a nice thickest girl. And let me try this one. There. Nah, let me try the slimmers. Now let me. That's not taught. That's you acting on your curiosity. It's not taught. And then eventually it becomes a habit because you feel good everywhere you go and you're left with not making a choice. You don't want to make a choice because everything feels good. And if you give a child to eat candy and the child like the candy, all of the teeth go fall out and they'll still eat candy because it's the tongue that tasting it. You understand what I'm saying? So it's the same thing with sexual habits, sexual promiscuity and stuff like that. It's a curiosity being satisfied. Curiosity being satisfied. It's not, no one has to teach you to be promiscuous. No one. You're just satisfying your curiosity. That's it. So we cannot blame anybody. We cannot blame society for teaching us. Nah, I see what I like. It's the same way you go in the shoe store. You see one pair of shoe, you want it. You see another pair of shoe, you want it. You cannot make a choice. You try all of them before you take one. Not true?
Or you take all of
Yes.
them.
Or you take all of them. So it's not
Yeah,
taught. It's a
but
sign.
wait, when you're getting into a relationship, most women, well, let me say this boldly. Good women do not
Mm-hmm.
go around searching, trying men. I don't care who you are. You're not supposed to be doing that. Going around trying men to see which one of them is going to satisfy you before you marry them. That's
A
wrong.
woman, a woman's worth is not determined through her sexuality, through
I
what
hear what
she's
I'm
done,
saying.
and what she's done to get to where she is. Because that's what we fail to realize. Latoya may be this woman to me, and you will be another woman to me. You know what? Latoya going to cook, she going to do all of this, she going to do all of that and stuff like that. And she is a great woman. That doesn't make her not a great woman. She's a great woman. But I wanted something extra. Maybe I like my woman with her nose wide. Maybe I like my woman with her nose smaller. And every time I look at Latoya, I don't like to see what her nose, and that little thing could have just messed it up. But it doesn't mean that she wasn't a good woman. So then, unfortunately, the circumstances had her to be cooking and cleaning for another man too, trying to teach him that she's a good man, a good woman, and stuff like that. And that still didn't work. So it's not, I wouldn't necessarily say good women don't go out looking for another man. They want to be loved. So they do
No,
things to
listen to
be
what I said.
so
Good
they
women don't go out trying other men sexually until they find the right man to marry.
to fit
Sexually,
them.
keyword. There are women out there that do it. There are women out there that do it. They go out,
They're
they go on
satisfying
dates,
their
they
curiosity.
satisfy themselves, and then they say, oh, I'm going to marry Steven because he's better in bed. And they're not looking at all the other qualities. There are women
I
out
think
there that do it.
I think that's more
It's
men that
what
do
man
that than women, to be honest with you.
No, all I'm saying is there are women out there that do it. I'm not saying that all
I
women.
think
There are
I
women
think I
out there.
think I think I think women I think likewise everybody does it. You experiment until you decide that's what you want. That's what works for you. You know, if it doesn't work for you, you will never be at peace with yourself. You will never be at peace with yourself. You understand?
And is it really experimenting that they're going out to experiment, or is it that they're going into a relationship thinking that, okay, this is something this person can deliver on,
I love
something that can satisfy me, but
No,
then to find out
Latoya.
later on that they can. No,
Latoya.
come,
No.
come,
No,
listen.
I'm speaking from notes where I'm saying what I'm saying. There are
Okay.
women that
there
go
are
out,
women, yeah,
they literally
there are
have the
women that
mindset of a man, and they go out and they go on
I
speed date.
okay. That's
They do it.
what you just said. Is I don't like that. Don't say they have
No,
women
there
that
are
have the
some
mind of
women that
a
do
man. They
it.
have
Men do
women.
it too.
It's not the mind of a man. There are women that make up their mind to do their thing. Don't say it's the mind of a man. We keep
They're acting like a woman but
even
thinking
using
like a
words.
man.
No. Even using words like that. Even using words like that downs the the mental and the growth of a man, because you're in your head you're saying this man is going, that's what men do. No, it's men don't, it's not men who do that and stuff like that. A woman does it because she wants to do it, not because she wants to act like a man, because not every man does that. You understand what I'm saying? So we have to pull away from those kind of things. Oh, statements like all men are dogs and these kind of things. We need to stop downing our men like that. You want to find a proper man? Start speaking life into your men. Start speaking life into our our men. Those we want to be leaders. We A number of times you hear women saying that boy is good for nothing. He's a deadbeat father. Men can't do nothing for them. I'm an independent woman. I don't need no money in my life. And then you're wondering why you're not getting money. You keep saying you're independent. You don't need money in your life. Confession, the spirit from your mouth. You know, and these kind of things. We need to stop saying those things when we speak about men. Speak life into your men.
That is true. Speak life, yes.
Into your
So
partner,
don't say
yes.
the woman
I
do man
agree.
things. It's not man things. She do woman things too. Yeah, it's woman things that if it's woman that do it, not a man. Don't say it's a man. It's
I
woman
think
that
where
do it.
Camille is coming from, like men are like the natural, chasers, and
They're
now
the
the
natural
woman,
hunters.
yeah, they're natural hunters. That's the word. And now the woman is taking on the man's role at hunting. So I think
Of
that's where
hunting.
Camille is coming from.
Do you know
Camille is
why?
coming from.
Every man,
I'm telling you, I
every
love
woman want to
my
find a
job
good
as a
man. So
life
she has
coach.
to hunt
It
it.
really, really enlightens me as to what happens outside in society, because here I am in this bubble thinking that most women don't do certain things. But then when you get an encounter with a female doing certain things, you're like, whoa,
Hmm.
because you always hear the man's side of him doing wrong, and you're not really hearing the female saying that I'm doing this when the doors are closed. You understand what I'm saying? So all right. Comments are coming in. Karen says not all men are the same, and men
Thank
don't
you,
like to
Karen.
compare to other men. Yes, Stephen, you have somebody on your side. Jay Dennis says the roles have reversed there. More women who try till they pick crap. If they jump from fence to fence, she has no become addicted to type of chain. So it will be hard to maintain a real relationship because she will be comparing you to all the others. Well, that's true. And that comes
And
when
that goes both ways.
that comes when the person is broken.
I
That goes both
Yeah,
yes,
ways.
when the person is broken,
I like what you just said. When the person is broken, and remember earlier when we first started, I said you cannot go into a relationship with yourself broken. You need to fix up
yeah.
yourself. You know, if you can expect that person to fix you. The idea that he said she picked till she picked crap. No man, still bro, don't call another man crap. You understand? It just didn't work. It's an unfortunate situation. It didn't work because every vehicle have its tire, every vehicle have its own rim.
Hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? And some vehicles could use rims from other vehicles, and it will make it work. It will make it work. And that brings me to a statement that I make all the time: to love is to will. To love is to will. You don't feel in love every day with the person you settle with. You don't. Some days you wake up in the morning and you turn and you look, you say, "Jeez, Lord, this is why." You understand? And when the day goes by and stuff like, you start loving again, you start loving again. But it comes with being content with who you are. That causes you to demonstrate and share the love that you have inside of you for you with that person.
My
And
belief is, before we close, my belief is that once you fall in love with God and fall in love with yourself in that agreement, like we did a series on the power of agreement. And from doing that series, once you agree with yourself that this is who I am, this is what I want, and this is what I am attracting to myself, then you could move forward. But a lot of times we don't do that first. We jump into the relationship and then we do the reverse, like I said before. But I believe that we should go forward first by, exposing the things that are holding us bound in our mind, in our bodies, and in our soul. Release that, let it go. And then we look, start asking for that person to come, attract the right person to come, because we know the right way now. I think we have all had all the wrong experiences or the right experiences that we have all learned something from that could help us to get into the next relationship. So thank you all so much for tuning in, Latoya.
hold on.
I was interested
This,
again. Stephen has something to say.
let me just close off by saying this. We in picking a partner, in picking a partner, First, like I said, you need to be comfortable in your skin. You need to be satisfied with you, and then you pick a partner that complements you. In the Christianity realm, we have a foundation. We've brought into Christianity with a foundation, loving Christ, loving Christ. And the way we love man is through Christ. If Christ is our foundation, being haven't spoken all of the mix up and thing that I talk about because it's real life. I will tell you the statement, and this I'll make this statement, and I'll make it boldly to anyone who wants to listen. When you love Christ, being that we're in the likeness of him and his image, when you love Christ, you're going to love your partner just like Christ loved the church, which is an
Mm-hmm.
unselfish, a love that knows to forgive, a love that knows to care, a love that knows to groom, a love that knows to caress. We will do that if your foundation is Christ. If you're keeping your eyes set on what a man thinks about your relationship, about what social media has to say about your relationship, and those kind of things, you won't get it. So when it comes to having sex with your partner, if you've learned to caress your partner mentally, emotionally, sex eventually becomes something that you share in. It's actually at the end of that bond, because what happens, you've stimulated that person so much, every other being, every other part of that person, 360 degrees, a cipher, body, mind, and soul. You've stimulated
Mm-hmm.
the body and the mind. The body, I'm sorry, you've stimulated the mind and the soul. Now that has already released endorphins to the body, which should make love making easy and nice and stuff like that. Where again, to love is to will. Sometimes in your relationship, maybe something's not working in sex, but you have to learn to sacrifice one part of it to satisfy the other. You need to satisfy your partner so you're not gonna get born. Anyways, you have to take, you need to, because the same way we as Christians, for us to feel better spiritually, we read the Bible, we learn things, we read the Bible to edify ourselves and elevate ourselves mentally and into the spirit of God. The same way, your sexual life is part of your relationship. You need to read and educate yourself ways to satisfy your partner, and the churches need to start preaching it, because you know what, they just leave you there and they preach Christ, 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 Christ. Christ came for the church, but the church was built for man. And if we're going to keep a church for man, we need to preach the truth about it. And sex is truth, sex is life. We need to preach sex as well. We need to teach it. If we don't teach it, where do you think they're going to go and learn it?
True. True.
Outside. So when they go outside to learn it, you know what happened? They learn it exactly how it is outside. They don't learn it in the edifying way that it's supposed to be. And that's the truth of the matter. So the church needs to start teaching its people, teach the young ladies, teach the young men. Hey, this is how you take care of your woman. This is what you do to take care of a woman. Teach the young lady, this is how you speak to your man. This is what you do to take care of your man. And these are the things that will cause your relationships to go forward. And then that's when sex becomes better. But then when you have all these different things that are broken, a woman doesn't know how to speak to a man doesn't know how to approach his woman, and stuff like that. All of that brokenness comes into a relationship. There's no way you're fixing it with sex. That's my closing statement.
Thank
Well
you,
said.
Stephen, so much. Well said. The key to a great relationship as a Christian is having Christ as your foundation. Too cute Chrome Skin, welcome all the way from Florida. Thank you for tuning into Empowerment Talk Show. And her comment was, yes, Stephen, you lick the nail pan the head. Love starts from your from loving yourself. Thank you all. Anthony Bonnie, thank you all so much for tuning in. All the comments on the Watch Party Live. We appreciate you all tuning in. Next week, we will have another special guest. We will have Claire. We're going to hear sex, singleness, and Christianity from a woman's point of view. Next week, Monday night, Claire is coming in all the way from Florida. She's a health coach and friend of mine. So, and Stephen, she's from St. Lucia too. So she's
Right.
coming in next Monday to talk to us about her views on sex, singleness, and Christianity. All right, we have a great lineup. Latoya, I think this topic won't be ending.
It's a good topic.
It's a good topic. So, all our viewers, thank you all so much. Continue to live in love, 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 love those even when they hurt you. Tune in on Wednesday at 12 noon for Takesha's Kitchen Live right here on the EPB. And on Wednesday nights for Dynamic Health, Mental Health, and its side effects on our youth and adults with Miss Vonda Degree. Customer service rep strategist, Miss Belly, all the way from Mississippi. She's live on Mondays, Saturday night, sorry, at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And shout outs to the radio station Central Praise. Thank you. You're here tonight, and we appreciate you for continuously supporting us and sharing the broadcast live on the radio station. For those that are listening in St. Kitts and Nevis and the Lesser Antilles, we want to continuously say thank you. Sorry, I couldn't travel this year to see you guys, but hopefully next year will be better. We will come by and say hello. And those in Jamaica that are tuning in from Prince Data Radio, we want to say thank you. Canada and the UK, we appreciate you all. Yes, Claire. Claire says she can't wait. So tune in Saturday mornings for Mr. Gary Parrish. Don't miss it, live from Kingston, Jamaica. He gives you the motivation for the weekend. And this segment is sponsored by Cuban Designs in Kingston, Jamaica. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Latoya, do you have anything to share before we go?
I just want to tell everybody, thanks, Stephen. Thank you so much. You brought a definitely different perspective to everything, to this whole topic, and really appreciate it. So hope to have you on another time again, anytime.
So, thank you guys for having me. Thank you guys for having me. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, bro. We'll talk later. Have a good night, everyone.
All right, good night.
Good night.